In the last episode, I killed both the King Slime and the Brain of Cthulhu. I did this after doing a lot of fishing and also building a small caverns jungle. This episode I am going to start working towards the dungeon and farm out the dungeon after I defeat the dungeon guardian, since there's a couple accessories I need from there, and especially the shield that prevents knockback is one I really like. At the moment I have full damage immunity, I have a decent amount of armor, but I am not immune to lava yet, so that could be one of my dangers at this point. So yeah, I hope anyone watching enjoys. So I really like the brain accessory, since it gives dodge chance and large hits, especially in hard mode. If you dodge one of those, it basically prevents a lot of life. Another thing that I am debating is that it doesn't stack well together with armor and health. So if you have a lot of armor, then the hits do less damage, and then one dodge is slightly less efficient. So I think I might use Brain until the end of the game, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, after I defeated the Brain last time, I'm going to make some more fishing bases. There I made a surface tundra. I needed a new pool, since the height of the water decides whether you're at the surface or the underground, and not the height of the player. I also at this point have so many trees that I'm finally not limited by the amount of blocks, and I'm just able to easily plant trees along the entire surface. Again, I forgot that you could buy acorns at the Dryad, but at this point I have so many acorns I'm fine. I will however keep farming sand, as you just saw there, because I need glass for glass bottles, which I need for potions. Now I make the phase blade. I really like this weapon since it has pierce and it does a decent amount of damage for this stage in the game. I spent way too much money trying to reroll it, but I think it's a pretty good weapon, so I'll use it for a little bit here. And then go back down to the jungle looking for moon glows. I don't have them yet, since they only spawn for slimes that spawn in the surface jungle, specifically herb slimes, because herb slimes plant herbs on blocks where they land on. So if they land on jungle blocks, they'll make moon glow. If they land on ash, they'll make fire blossom, etc. And that's how you get the different types of herbs, or another way to get them. For moon glow, I believe in Skyblock it's the only way, unless you, oh no, it can spawn in the jungle, it's just very rare. It took me about 50 hours before one moon glow spawned. So let's see here. I just do my fishing and I continue farming. Still looking for moon glow and I won't get it. I also try to make my jungle farm a little bit better for the hornets, since they aren't going down at this point. And I will be continuing to farm for quite a bit here. Oh, the next boss will be Skeletron, which will allow me to farm the dungeon. And also once Skeletron is defeated, then I am able to get hellstone ore from hell slimes. And that'll unlock the next tier of armor and the equipment. I got the Bezor, which is nice for the Ankh shield in the hard mode. Ankh shield of course prevents knockback and a bunch of debuffs. Do my fishing quest. Do a couple more rerolls on the face saber. And here I get the cell phone. So I combine all the different information accessories and the magic mirror for one item that can teleport me home and also give me all the information. Now I don't upgrade it further to the shell phone, because the shell phone can also teleport you to the beaches or the hell And I'm really afraid that I'll put it at the wrong setting and then during a fight not be able to teleport or teleport to the wrong place and die. So I will keep this as cell phone for the entire playthrough because it's always teleporting me to the same place and I really need the consistency in hardcore. So I do a bunch of ice fishing. I finally get the ice skates, which are needed for the Terraspark boots. Looking for some of the snow herbs for potions. But since I have only so few ice blocks, it'll take quite a while before the Shimmerthorn spawns. I make a couple houses here so I can make my forest TP since I wasn't using it anywhere and I thought I might as well do it at my arena. And I also want a place for the dungeon, however later I think I'll move it a little bit. It's not quite where I want it. Of course do my daily fishing quest. Yeah, now here I move the NPCs closer to my base because I want to put the dungeon next to them. And I want to be able to get the Skeletron back into my arena when I spawn it. So this is going to be where I put the surface dungeon tiles. That's where the old man is going to spawn, which allows you to spawn Skeletron. And later also the lunar cultists will spawn here. I'll do some reading probably on the old man, what he exactly requires to spawn. I get another brain and I quickly do the brain. At this point I think I have the phase saber, so I do so much damage to the brain that I must be able to easily defeat it. But I should still pay attention since I haven't increased my armor by a lot. So I feel a lot stronger than I actually am here. Now the phase saber, the nice thing is you can throw it and it comes back to you and it pierces enemies, so it does a lot of AoE damage against those little brains. But you can also just swing it as a normal sword. You do close range decent damage. Now here I try to get the brain as close as possible so I do a lot of damage, but it is quite dangerous since it's hitting me quite a bit. And my health actually goes a little bit lower than I would like it for just a second farm of a boss. But it went decently. There I make the dungeon tiles on the surface, and at this point the old man is in the world as long as I put the blue bricks underneath. I change up my surface farm so that the mobs coming from the left also enter the farm and get stuck there. Continue on with my fishing dailies as always. And now I make a bigger jungle there, because I'm still looking for the moon glow and I think maybe this will help. Again, it has to be surface and that is still underground as you see in the background. So I'm probably looking for how the moon glow should spawn. And I think at this point maybe I realize that I need surface slimes. There's the dungeon, the surface dungeon. Now I don't place any blocks underground because I don't want the dungeon guardian spinning head to spawn and one-shot me. And that is what happens if you put dungeon tiles underground and you stand in front of them before Skeletron is dead. And here I finally make my surface jungle, allowing herb slimes to spawn so I can get moon glow. And if I want also the other herbs, just by placing different blocks as a surface. It'll however take some time for the jungle to grow up. So waiting for my daily quest here. I'll quickly do it. I really like how this base turned out, where I can sit on each chair for a different biome. Left desert, middle, neutral and right snow. Of course did this by using a heart lantern, and then at the edge of the range of the heart lantern, that is where I put the 300th block of the desert and the snow to the right and to the left, because the heart lantern is the same range as the range that blocks count towards your biome, and from 300 blocks you're in a biome. So if you put 299 close by and then one just on the edge, you can quickly change biomes. So it is getting dark here, and I do have the old man now. So I am going to try and kill the dungeon guardian. Now the way I want to do this is by going underground to my old arena, and I just hope that he doesn't turn into the spinning head that one-shots me. But I'm pretty sure that that's not how it works, since I'm not in front of any dungeon bricks underground. So yeah, I'm just grabbing some foods here. The food is fine. I'm going to use the bow and the phase blade. All my accessories on. So yeah, I didn't wait for the jungle spores and the other herbs that I still need, but I think it should be fine. I'm going to buff up here, and then I'm going to fight him. So I am running to my arena. There it is. And now I'm just going to try and fight him by going in circles around his head. I can take away the floor now since I'm not doing the crimson boss. Oh, I am playing terribly. Okay, I should just move less and only move when I think it's needed. So I feel like the sword does more damage, but I have to aim, and I want to focus on not taking too much damage myself. Oh, I wish I could just get the hands down quicker. The character feels really slow right now. I'm wearing the correct gear. Maybe I get slowed by the hands, and I didn't think so, but it does feel like it. I also must keep in mind that I need to kill him before daytime. I'm just going to focus this one hand down. Just tanking a bit. There's one. He starts summoning the skulls. Okay, that's my health potion used. I would love to have a better weapon. Maybe I should have waited for the jungle sword, so I have some ranged melee damage. Still 11 PM, so I do have some time. Okay, so that's that thing done. So these skulls are hurting me. So I am going to heal up at the nurse real quick. Okay, so he is staying at an annoying distance. I am going to use the bow here. I do like 0 damage to him. Should just keep turning circles around his head to avoid these little skulls. And then when he does this, I can go in a straight line and do some damage. Oh, I should actually do it like this, maybe. Oh, but it is dangerous once he gets down. There's quite a bit of damage with these floaty skulls. Okay, again, turn circles around the head and then go in a straight line. I think I like the strategy most. Still have 4 hours. It's going to be somewhat close. Okay, I'm liking how this is going. Buffs are also 4 minutes still, so that's also good. Should have maybe taken a second set of buffs with me, just in case. Yeah, I'm at 57 armor and he's still doing damage. That's why I'm trying to really prepare well for these bosses. Maybe a bit too well for some of them, but this one I'm happy that I'm going all out. Yeah, 3 minutes on my buffs. Also 3 minutes before it's daytime, since it's 1 minute per hour in Terraria. Oh, this boss hurts, man. Whoop, that's a bad timing. My pot was up again, so that is good. Okay, and don't get complacent at the end here, just keep doing my strat. Oh, I guess I ran out of fire arrows, so I'm wasting stars. I could actually swap over. There we are. Oh, that was hectic. But I got a Hellforge, which is awesome. I also saw that there are probably going to be some slimes that drop hellstone in hell now. Let's see if that is correct here. And the other loot is the bone glove, which I don't really like, and the book of skulls, which I don't use a lot either. But of course the Hellforge is going to be awesome. Plus I now unlocked the dungeon mobs that I can farm out for some new accessories. So that's what I'll be doing next. So yeah, in Master Mode, armor is really strong, since in Master Mode every point of armor decreases every point of damage by 1. And so I really want to farm up the new armor as quickly as possible, just to make sure that at any point in time my armor is as high as it can be. So I immediately go down there and farm the hell slimes. Now the thing that makes every point of armor so important is that if, for instance, a mob would hit for 13 and you have 10 armor, it would only hit for 3 points of damage. If you increase your armor by only 1 point, then the mob would now hit for only 2, since the mob still does that 13 damage, but you now have 11 armor. So you have a 33% damage decrease by just increasing your armor by 1 point. So that's why I really try to get every point of armor I can get from both my armor, from my accessory rerolls, from or modifiers, also from the beast statue later on, and from the dryad. I really want to make sure I have all the armor I can get. So here I'm making another farm, and this is probably going to be the dungeon farm. I do this in a new spot just so I can make a nice and clean little farming area. I'm also going to use this quite a bit in hard mode after Pantera has been defeated. For the hard mode, or maybe after Golem, I'm not quite sure, for the hard mode accessories that the dungeon drops. Since you get paladins that drop paladin shields, which I really like because they give a lot of armor. And you also get some other accessories, but I think mainly the paladin shields are the ones that I'm going to be looking for. So I make sure that the edges are high enough that mobs won't spawn on the top of the wood there. I walled off all the areas I don't want mobs to be, and then the one area that I don't mind mobs to be I leave open. I don't place the dungeon bricks and the dungeon background just yet, because I want to make sure that everything is ready before I do that. Now the way that dungeon mobs work is that dungeon mobs will spawn on blue bricks, and the mobs that spawn are based on what background, unsafe background the player is in front of. So you need both bricks and background where the mobs spawn and also where the player sits. So I do the 3 different types of dungeon backgrounds next to one another up here, and then also down here, just too wide because that's all the player needs. And now if I walk to the left, then dungeon mobs stop spawning, and that way I can kind of decide how many dungeon mobs I want, since some of them are quite dangerous and can also do damage through walls. So the dungeon is a little bit scary even when you're doing it in a farm like this. Now I'm not quite getting dungeon mobs yet, so trying out different things here. And I noticed that you need a certain amount of blue bricks to be on your screen before dungeon mobs start spawning, so I also need that as a 3rd requirement. Quickly do my fishing quest, and at this point I do have enough dungeon bricks and dungeon blocks, so you will start seeing dungeon mobs spawn. I can start farming the shield that prevents knockback. I also want to fish in the dungeon. This is a little bit scary because they can do damage through walls and I have less armor in my fishing set. But I want to fish up the dungeon crates. Now I do need golden keys to open those crates, but I do think it's good to start early. Now here I forget to make little gaps in the walls, so the spinning blades, those red things, they kill all my NPCs here. I'm just figuring out how I want to stand and how I want to farm this. First time I start using a farm is always a little bit of a task figuring out. And now I finally make gaps in the wall so that the spheres stay in one spot. Do some inventory editing. What's it called? Inventory cleaning up. Sorting. And here I just continue fishing, but every time annoying mobs spawn I just teleport away or I try to kill them real quick. I spent quite a lot of time here, I believe. This time I'm not killing the enemies, that way I can fish in peace, because the maximum spawn number has been reached. I can just get as many dungeon crates as possible while I have my fishing potions up. So it was a bit hectic, but I got my dungeon farm set up. I have the different backgrounds here with the dungeon brick. I don't think these backgrounds matter too much. I think it's mainly where the player stands. So I also have some dungeon brick with the 3 backgrounds here, and I can stand in front of them and spawn the different enemies. I have some water where I did some fishing. I got 7 dungeon crates, and most importantly, I finally have the mechanics, so I can start automating some of the farms here, which I've been looking forward to a lot. I really like the actuators, and having some teleporters is really nice. So I'll get going on that very soon here. But let's first see what I got from the dungeon crates. So I got a locked box, but I do have 7 keys already. Another locked box. Some spelunkers. some ores. I'm just going to go back to clear my inventory a bit. Okay. Pink brick. Copper ore. Yeah, okay, so it's just a bunch of locked boxes. Now I have 7 keys, 7 locked boxes. Let's see what happens here. The Valor, Blue Moon, Blue Moon. I'm looking for the sword and especially the shield. What is this? Jump while holding down. Huh. Jump while holding down to slam downward. Slamming will deal damage. That sounds cool, but I'm not sure I want to use it since it seems like I need skill to use this and I don't have a lot of that. Aqua Scepter, handgun. Maybe the gun merchant will come. And another Blue Moon. So I'm going to need to do some more fishing to get the shield and the sword. Yeah, so I'll do that and then I'll get the mechanics stuff and start automating some of the farms here. I am really quickly going to kill these slimes to see if I finally get some mushroom seeds. Yeah, so the sword I was talking about is the Muramasa, and I need that, I believe, for the True Knight's Edge. Because that is, I think, the best sword I can get before Plantera. Oh no, the Knight's Edge, so the pre-hard mode version Knight's Edge, I need the Muramasa. And that's just a really strong sword that I can use to kill the bee and maybe even for some of the close range parts of the Wall of Flesh battle. Although I'll probably just do that with a bow. The, I think Hellfire bow, or it's called something like that. But I still want the Muramasa because the Knight's Edge in hard mode gets upgraded to the True Knight's Edge. And the True Knight's Edge is a really good sword to kill Plantera with. Now here I buy all the mechanics items, I combine them, and now I'm able to do some playing around with teleporters and pumps and things like that. I've tried to make a small lava duplication pump setup here. I sadly do not succeed, I try way too long. But the platform that I'm using is too small for the lava to properly duplicate. So yeah, it's kind of in vain, but I wanted to get some obsidian anyway for the hellstone to combine that into the ores, into the bars. Now, other than the pumps, I also of course get the teleporters, and that will play a large role in my hard mode side of the game, since you move around a lot quicker, and the less time you spend moving around, the less time you have to accidentally die. Here I'm just putting here I'm just killing some NPCs so I can get some gravestones, and then from the gravestones I can make a graveyard biome. And in the graveyard biome I want to get some shadow torches. Now what shadow torches do is that they negate the effect of NPCs being close by, and they also negate some of the spawning requirements of some mobs. So they're nice to have at your farms. You can just switch them on by right clicking them and turning them on and off. So now I'm getting a lot more dungeon mobs here because I have a shadow torch, even though I do have NPCs close by. Now I also want water candles, but I can only get them in hard mode sadly, because I think I need a mithril anvil. I get the cobalt shield, so I am now knockback immune. And I immediately wrote it for warding, together with the obsidian skull as an obsidian shield. And I tried the pump method again, but I still fail since it's way too small, the area. Make it a little bit bigger, but I mean it's far from big enough. But I do like to try stuff out and figure stuff out sometimes. Not just looking up the exact guides. Do my fishing quest, or at least wait for it and then do it. I think fishing quests are super relaxing. needed some obsidian anyway, so it's not too bad spending some time there. I finally got the imp staff from the hellstone, but I will be using the slime stuff still for a long time because slimes stay in their place and that helps at farms. Here I carefully farm and I make sure I don't accidentally spawn the wall of flesh by killing one of the demons that is holding the guide voodoo doll. So if I kill them together with one of the slimes, then the wall of flesh would spawn from the voodoo doll falling into the lava. Continue with my fishing quests. Realize, oh yeah, an ocean needs sand, so I have to fish at the top and not at the bottom, since I don't have enough sand at the bottom. Here I try to automate this farm with actuators, but sadly if you actuate the block beneath sand, then the sand falls. So I need to do it slightly differently, probably with conveyor belts, but I don't quite have enough for the entire farm yet. I now have a lava-proof fishing net that allows me to catch hell critters, and the hell critters will then allow me to fish in lava, which gives me the last few accessories that I need for the Terraspark boots, giving me temporary lava immunity, allowing me to walk on lava, and also just being able to combine all the accessories into one nice large accessory. Here I make my lava fishing pool, since, as I just said, I can now fish in there. I want to do that while farming hellstone, it seems efficient. And also I can fill up the pool quicker with the lava slimes that die there. That's taking quite a long time, so I'm also going to do the lava duplication with a bucket while I'm farming. I just need to make sure that I keep paying enough attention to the demons to not accidentally spawn the wall of flesh. Yeah, so here I also start helping the slimes. This took a real long time, at least it felt like for ages. Even at times 16 speed this feels slow, but eventually I do get it and I have my fishing pool. And now I just need to fish up some obsidian crates. So I get my fishing potions, my fishing gear, and I just start fishing. Now I am just basically catching everything, since I also need the lava fish for different types of potions. For infernal potion and for rage potion and wrath potion. Now the corruption variant I can only get in hard mode once I am able to get the corruption seeds. Now I get the lava proof bobber, so I can now use normal bait to fish in lava, which is nice. And let's see if I combine it into the lava-proof tackle box yet. I'll have to wait until I continue fishing in hell. Quickly do a herb run, see what herbs I can find. And at this point I finally realize the herb slime spawn at the surface jungle. So I'm able to get the moon glow, the last herb I still needed. Now each herb slime only spawns 4 herbs, or once it lands it can spawn a herb and it can only do that 4 times, so I do prefer getting a couple herb slimes before I really start farming up the herbs manually. So here I continue fishing in lava, just to get the last few accessories I need for the Terraspark boots. And now I have stopped getting the fish just because I want more obsidian lockboxes. Now once I have the lava proof tackle box, I also need the normal tackle box because the fishing power stacks. And I also want another fisherman's earring because again, also for that the fishing power does stack. So let's see, I got a bunch of accessories. And it seems like I did get the accessory I was looking for. No, I'm not. Oh yeah, I do have the lava proof tackle box. I don't know if I have the accessory that drops from imps yet at this point. Ah, it seems like I do, since I am combining all the accessories. And I finally get the bottomless lava bucket, which allows me to way more easily fill my lava pools. That was just an instant there where before I spent like multiple minutes slowly filling it up. Just testing some damage per second there. Yeah, continuing on with my fishing dailies. And I finally get some granite, and I realized that if I want gems, I need granite golems because they drop gems. And so I start granite golem farming. I want these for better hooks. Since my hook has quite a short range, and I want the preferably diamond but otherwise ruby hook since they have a good range. So here I start farming golems. It takes a long time because they have quite a bit of armor and so my slimes are only hitting for 1 or 2. But once I get their banner, then I do double damage and I do way more damage. And it doesn't double to 2 to 4, but it doubles to way more because it doubles before armor is subtracted. So if before I would do 14 damage and they have 12 armor, I would do 2 damage. Now I would do 28 damage. They still have 12 armor. So at that point I still do 14 damage. So it goes from 2 damage to 14, which is a huge difference. Yeah, and I do this for quite a while since I want a decent amount of gems so that I can also start a little gem farm from gem trees on stone. Now in hard mode, if you have not the granite but the white variant of it, I'm trying to think of the name, marble. If you have a marble biome and even 1 block is enough, then medusas start spawning, and I do need to kill some medusas so that I can get the accessory that is part of the Ankh shield. But I'll only place it temporarily since medusas are one of the most scary enemies in game, since they can stone you and then you are unable to do anything, and you also take full damage even if you have full damage immunity accessories on. And I don't want to accidentally die by a medusa. So there I'm just doing a small test if gem trees spawn at the surface. I'm pretty sure they don't, so I also make a farm underground. And indeed during this playthrough I see that the gem trees do not spawn on the surface and only underground. So yeah, this is just a small test that I'm doing to confirm my theories. Here I am now also making a honey pool so I can do some honey fishing once I get that quest. Now I'm not sure if there is an underground honey fishing quest. So later on, because this takes so long and I don't want to do it again, I do make a small shaft so I can quickly get it underground if I get an underground quest. But I will leave it not here for now until I see what quests I get. And I'm hoping to get the bottomless honey bucket because I do like to use honey in a bunch of my arenas. Since if you stand in honey, you get a 30-second huge life regen buff. And I think that is worth putting in basically every arena. and farming spot. So yeah, again, this duplication of slow liquids takes so long, and I really start getting bored here. So I decide to do it with 50% fishing power, and it seems like it was good enough to get the quest done. And now I make the bee summon, and I am pretty much ready for the queen bee. I want to get some herbs real quick. Here I'm just paying slightly more attention to the herb slimes because I want to figure out how they exactly work. Now, and it takes quite a long time before one spawns since they are quite rare. They're a variant to the jungle slime. Of course, I keep doing my daily fishing quests. A little bit more golem farming since it's nice and relaxing, and I'm getting tired at this point. And now I'm making the bottom jungle as well because I want the queen bee to be inside the jungle because I'm afraid that she'll otherwise enrage, and I want my entire arena to be jungle. So just to make sure I make the bottom jungle as well. Here I remove the actuators in front of the dirt that the sand sits on, and I make sure that only the sand has actuators in front of it. And I replace some of the dirt with conveyor belts so that the shells will all end up in one spot, so it's easier to loot. Now I'm still afraid of lightning, so I quickly make a box around it so the lightning doesn't strike me while I'm busy with it. And here I start crafting potions. I think endurance potions are one of the strongest potions in the game, since it reduces damage and that makes your armor even more effective. And you get them from armored cavefish, which you can fish up in the caverns, so fishing will remain important for the entire game because you need it for potion farming. This farm remains feeling so nice because I also get heart crystals, which give me heart lanterns, and I can just spend them around without having to be stingy about it. Some different types of pressure plates, both for the players and for enemy mobs. Now I also planted some blue mushrooms at the bottom of my base because I want a blue mushroom biome so I can get those mushrooms for, I think, health potions. And also the mushroom NPC can come, which later gives you the mushroom crafting bench, which is used for, I believe, Spectre arm. No. Basically chlorophyte, and then one tier above it for ranged weapons you need that crafting bench. Now I don't end up using it, but I do like to have everything accessible in this game, just in case I figure out some strat that I need it for. I end up walling that pool because I don't want to accidentally get killed by some hard mode fish when I do hard mode fishing down there. And now I'm pretty sure that the trees don't spawn above ground, so I am going to make a gem tree farm underground. And now I start setting up some teleporters. I want to get to my caverns farm easily, since I didn't have enough pylons to put a pylon there. And this is when getting around gets a lot easier. Now here I'm trying to get the banner for the marble biome mobs, so that once it hits hard mode I can farm Medusas quicker. Since I'll kill the other enemies quicker, there's more spawn space for the Medusa to spawn. And by spawn space I just mean the number of mobs that can be alive at any time will not get filled up as quick and as long if I have banners. There's the 50th hoplite. Do some cleaning up here, put the banners down again, make it slightly more level, easier to get around in. Put the walls back in the jungle there where I was doing the moonglow test. Don't want any hard mode mobs spawning in my base. Increase my herb farm a little bit since I now have moonglow. And I prepare this area for a honey pool in case I get a quest for underground honey. And I also make sure that there's a shaft leading there, so I can easily transfer the honey if needed for a quest, but I won't do it unless I do get a quest. Now I am fishing for the water walking boots. I think that's the last accessory that I need for my Terra Spark boots. I need a bunch of ocean crates for that. I'm not getting super lucky here. So I continue farming in the ocean until I do get the water walking boots. I do a lot of fishing in Terraria, but I also think it's quite relaxing because you can just do some nice fishing and watch a series or something. And then once I get the water walking boots, I immediately go to the desert, because you can never have enough beast statues from the desert. And then I can combine everything into the Terra Spark boots, which will probably be the biggest accessory that I need pre-hard mode, so I'm slowly getting closer to being ready for hard mode. Also I only need the B-boss, and then I'm ready for the wall of flesh. I do want to prepare for some farms before I do kill the wall of flesh, of course, since it's safer to prepare farms now than it is once you are in hard mode. Quickly increase my gem farm a bit. Get more teleporters going, both to my underground jungle and also to my Crimson area later on, so I don't have to walk or move anywhere anymore. I really don't want to move around in hard mode. I only want to be where I need to be. Quickly get rid of the marble before I go to hard mode, since I don't want a rogue Medusa spawning. I only want them spawning when I decide. Just relaxing at my caverns farm. For some reason sitting there just feels good, so I sometimes do it while I'm thinking or planning my next steps, or waiting for my daily fishing quests. I'm waiting for some more herb slimes. The herb slimes are really taking their time here. This is the teleporter going to my Crimson base. Full moon, so I try to grab all the death weeds I can, since they only grow during a full moon. And back to relaxing. Just waiting for my daily fishing quest. Waited a little bit too long. Waiting for more herb slimes. At this point I'm just thinking if there's anything more I can do before I fight the queen bee, since I'm a little bit afraid of the queen bee, since you cannot really teleport away from her and I don't want to log out during combat. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's any way I can get stronger before the queen bee. Now I catch one of the herb slimes, so I can actually see it plant the herbs. After 4 herbs it stops planting herbs. And here I accidentally destroy some of the herbs when I free it again. So that is sad. But now at least I know that they do work, and that they work in the way that I hope and expect. More relaxing at my caverns farm. Another round of tree chopping. Oh, I love the amount of blocks I now finally have. And I also like that wood cannot get corrupted or anything, so you can just use it in all your farms as a neutral block. At this point I'm just waiting for some herbs to grow. And, craft some crate potions. I can now finally craft them now that I have my gem farm going. I start farming up for beast statues and also for the sandstorm in a bottle. Since I want triple jump, that's the last upgrade I can get in pre-hard mode. Triple jump. But I take a long time fishing in the desert and I sadly do not get it. But because it is in the desert, I do get a lot of beast statues, so it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time. But yeah, the triple balloon jump, that would be the best pre-hard mode full damage immunity item. You get it from Blizzard in a bottle combined with a balloon, Sandstorm in a bottle combined with a balloon, and Cloud in a bottle combined with a balloon. And then you get a basically balloon bundle or something. It's basically 3 extra jumps that are also extra high. But it is nice that I can now finally craft my crate potions now that I have the herbs for it and also the gems for it. So yeah, you'll see me fish here for quite a long time. All just looking for a sandstorm in a bottle. I don't think it's completely necessary for the bee to have sandstorm in a bottle or for a wall of flesh, since the frog legs allow you to jump quite high already together with the balloon in a bottle. And I think it's high enough to jump over the queen bee if you time it properly. And so I'm not too committed to getting the sandstorm in the bottle, but because I am getting some beast statues as well, I don't mind farming this for quite a while. And I try again. I go through quite a few fishing potions for this. Seems like I didn't turn the bottom of my base into a jungle. I think I decided that I just need to stay close enough to the jungle area on the left, since that's enough blocks. What I do now is I plant some ice on my farm, but on the left I keep jungle, that way herb slimes keep spawning on the left. But when they walk over the ice, they now plant shimmerthorn instead of moonglow, since I was quite low on shimmerthorn still, since they grow really slowly and I only have a very small ice area. And now I have the Knight's Edge. I roll it for something good, since I'm going to use the Knight's Edge until hard mode. And I try one last time, I believe, for the sandstorm in the bottle. waiting for some herbs to grow again. And I got a goblin invasion, so I quickly do that. Now that I have the Knight's Edge, it goes real easy. Casters instantly die and I just have to wait. Got some banners, which also makes it go quicker. Again, trying for the sandstorm in a bottle. Yeah, I spent a long time trying to get this. And another round of potions. Oh, that's what I like about hardcore. It really feels like every bonus you can get is worth farming for. Since even if this costs 1 hour, if it prevents me from dying, I save 50 hours. I just remove one platform so I can more easily jump over the bee, and then I'm pretty much ready. So for quite a while I've been trying to get the sandstorm in a bottle so that I can upgrade my double jump to a triple extra jump. However, it's not dropping, and I do feel like I am at this point ready for the queen bee. So what I did is I removed one platform down here, and because I have at least the frog legs, in my case the armored frog gear, I will be able to basically stand in one spot and jump over the bee when the bee charges at me. I think the fight should be quite easy then if I can just jump over the bee. And in the worst case I can always go to this platform. So it only needs a small arena. And I'll try to fight it with the Knight's Edge. Now if the bee stays out of range, then I will switch to the Hellwing bow. Now since I am close to my base, I of course cannot teleport away easily. However, I have my teleporter to the caverns, so I can escape in this way. Once I've done the queen bee, I also want to get the Torchgod so I can place the right torches in the right biomes for some extra luck. And then just prepare my world for hard mode. So let's see how many queen bees I can kill. I might want to use bee nades for the wall of flesh. So I think I do need quite a few attempts. Or not so much attempts, just quite a few kills so I can get enough bee nades. However, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna use for wall of flesh just yet. So I have enough honey. I have quite a bit of everything, so I can do 5 queen bees, it seems like. And let's see, herbs. So let's craft the potions. I already have my 3 standard potions, the regen, swiftness and iron skin. I also want to swap out my food real quick for the better food. Steak, I think this gives a major buff, yes. And now I just want the endurance, I think I also have here still. I do. And let's see if I can make the rage potion. I can. I am going to probably use the bow a little bit, so I want the stronger bow potion. And I am thinking about swapping out to the restoration potion, because it does give less life. However, you can use it more often. I am going to use these. I think just in general from now on. Even though the other potions are basically free with the amount of fishing that I do. And let's see, let's just go through all the potions. Swiftness and skin. Not using magic, so I don't need the magic potions. I have a lot of torches, so I don't really need shine, night owl. Thorns, let's see, is it cheap? It's not cheap because it costs me the deathweed and I only have a few of those. Archery is cheap, so I'll use this. I'm pretty sure I still have heart reach in this potions box. Night owl, hunter, gravitation. Here, heart reach. I have a lot of heart reach potions from fishing. Okay. I think that is everything I need. I could put luck potions down, or could use luck potions, but I don't think I really need to. So at this point I am ready to fight the boss. I do want to really quickly see if I have any fishing quests open. I don't. For my accessories, I have swapped out the Terraspark boots for the armored shark-tooth necklace for some extra damage, and I don't really need the rocket boots or the speed since I'm not going to be moving around a lot, and I can always swap them out during the fight. Always use Brain of Confusion for the dodge chance. I don't want to get knocked back by damage. Full damage immunity I just must always have on, just in case I forget to swap out after the fight. And I do like the dash in case I want to dash over the queen bee. Oh, I do want to remove that. That's not nice. I'll put it in the corner here. And yeah, the frog leg is mandatory for queen bee, at least in my case, the way that I fight her. I will use the better summon. Yeah, and then I'm ready. Well, I could actually maybe build a summoning potion, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, okay, I got a summoning potion so I can summon 2. And I haven't seen the flasks yet, so maybe I'm missing something for the flasks, but I don't think I need it for Queen Bee just now. So I will buff up, summon up, and then summon the Queen Bee. Yeah, this is how I want to do it, just easily jump over, no unnecessary movement. I'm at 67 armor, which is decent. I don't have the Beezor on, since it does use an accessory slot and I don't think I need it. It would be nice to not get poisoned, but it seems like it's not doing too much damage. I think I can just out-heal the damage, out-regen it. And that is the Queen Bee. Okay, I messed up my jumps there a lot. So there it is. I'm gonna do it a couple more times, but I won't. I'll just speed it up and then I'll go to the Torchgod. So next up I want to do the Torchgod, and I think this is also going to be the last thing I do this episode. So what I did is I built a little platform out, so that I'm far away from the rest of my torches. I'm going to place 100 torches in one spot, and then I can hopefully easily dodge the Torchgod's attack. Now I do want a shine potion and a night owl potion, so that I can see where I'm jumping. And I think then we should be fine, and otherwise I'll just teleport away and run. So shine and night owl. Now I'm not going to use my major food for this, since I think it should be fine. But I don't really know how much damage it does, because I haven't done the Torchgod very often. So I'll just have to see how it goes. Let's see, I want some more platforms. Oh. Yeah, I'll just make one more layer of platforms. I think, yeah, now I do want my movement speed accessory, since I don't need to do damage. And let's see. Oh, I love the fact that I cannot be knocked back now. So I can just ignore the smaller mobs. It is hard to see when I don't have torches. I also love the roller skates. I think somehow Terraria keeps making the already great game better. Oh, I hate the feral bite debuff. Once I'm done with Torchgod, I will clean up these platforms, since I don't want hard mode mobs spawning all around me. So I think that should be it. Once the feral bite is gone, I will buff up and then do the Torchgod. Okay. And I'll use my buffs here. Start placing the torches. I made a little over 100 platforms here, so I know that once this is full, at least the boss should spawn. There it is. Ah, so they do bounce. Okay, I cannot hit them. Okay. Good thing I cannot be pushed back. Move as little as possible. Oh man, my imp looks like the Torchgod's bullets. Should really remove my imp. There. Okay. Not quite sure how long this goes, but shouldn't be too long. It does hurt quite a bit actually. Small movements, that's all I need to do. Okay, still good. I am going to heal. I think that's it. I think we defeated the Torchgod, which actually hurt quite a bit, even for the amount of armor I have. So let's see, I think I should have it here, yep. And now I can do the right biome torches. So now all I need to do is just get rid of all the torches and the platforms, and then I'm good. So in this episode I started off killing the skeleton for the dungeon, which opened up a bunch of progression opportunities. I then farmed the dungeon for quite a bit, and I did a huge amount of fishing. Through fishing I got a bunch of accessories, and I got enough money to roll my gear to warding or armored, giving me enough armor to survive and fight some bosses. I concluded this episode by killing both the queen bee and the Torchgod, which now allows me to start preparing my world for hard mode. In the next episode, that is what I will do. I'll build my Wall of Flesh arena, prepare my world for hard mode, and then try and kill the Wall of Flesh